Serving today's community. Preparing for tomorrow's opportunities. Here's what's in the works.
I love it. The fact that we are even here today for this kind of celebration. It's been such an amazing journey. So welcome to all of you who have had a hand in making this a reality. So I am going to ask our council member, Dennis Higgins, to come up and give us the backstory and the future on this project. He is our chair of the Public Works Committee, Dennis Higgins.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to this beautiful project. I'm so pleased that you're here today and that we are all here today. It's a real celebration. This project, the construction started in 2013, and so here we are in March 2015, and we've got a completed 100% project, and it's just a thing of beauty. The road obviously has been 3-laned. We've got the bike lanes, we've got the pedestrian improvements, we've got the undergrounding of the wires. It's just an absolutely gorgeous project. The landscape islands, this community behind us right here is, it's a community that is vibrant and has had its challenges, and it deserves a project like this. It absolutely deserves a project. For years and years, ever since I've lived in Kent, driving down this road, you can't drive down it and not see someone walking in the ditch. And now they don't have to do that. And I'm so very, very pleased that that is the case. The planning for this project actually started in 2002 when the 116th project at the next major intersection behind us was completed. It took us 13 years to get to this point. Through the Great Recession, through many different challenges, but thank goodness we are here today. We are so grateful to the Transportation Improvement Board. We couldn't have done this project without you. The $2 million that you provided on this project was fundamental and foundational. And I want to just recognize Steve Gorchester. Where did you go to? There he is, right there in the middle. I'm going to invite you up here in a minute, and John, I forgot your last name, I'm sorry, from the TIB. John, thank you. Thank you for coming here. He's from Bonnie Lake. Thank you for joining us. We went through quite a few ringers to get to this point on this project. We, at one point, had asked the community to join us in a local improvement district, which unfortunately was not a successful effort. But we didn't give up. We made the bold decision to go ahead with the project despite very, very tight funding at the city. We had the business and occupation tax, which had been created to improve roads in the valley, commercial roads. This was not one of the projects that we envisioned for that purpose. And when we discussed the potential of using the B&O tax on this, understandably, a lot of people who had worked to enact that tax were concerned. So in order to make it work, we came up with the plan to utilize the B&O tax, but pay it back from our own transportation impact fees. I am so grateful to all my colleagues, to all of the city staff who worked out, on how to figure that out. And I'm grateful to the business community, too, on the B&O tax for understanding that this is an important project and the flexibility to make this project go. We had to get that done, or TIB, understandably, moves on down the line to the next project. And that's just the way it has to be. There are limited funds from TIB and from the state, and if we don't move, the projects don't get done. So again, I want to give my heartfelt thanks to the Transportation Improvement Board for making this all possible, and to my colleagues, and to the mayor, and to city staff. And with that, I'd like to introduce Steve Gorchester, Executive Director of the Washington State Transportation Improvement Board. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much. Oh, great. It's great. It's really great to be here. As has been referenced, there were some challenges getting this project to this point, and the city stuck with it, and the mayor and the council stuck with it, or we wouldn't be here. We're a state grant agency for local government. We get our revenue from 3 cents of the state gas tax, and we're pleased to return about $2 million of your gas tax back to Kent for this project. There's a lot of pressure on the money from 3 cents of the state gas tax, plenty of other places it could be going. So we're really proud to be able to invest that back into local communities. Proof's in the pudding on this project. It just happened. I could be anywhere in the state on any day of the week. It just happened that I received a call from one of the people who were fighting against the right-of-way and the LID while I was sitting on this street watching the pedestrian activity. Something like that rarely ever happens. It was just kind of I'll always remember that, getting that phone call while I'm right there. Then I have not been back until today. And I'll tell you, my first drive down the street, pedestrians, bicyclists, transit riders, people walking their dogs, that's why this project was built, because the facilities that existed here before weren't adequate to serve the community. So that's why we support the projects. That's what we're looking for out of them. So we got exactly what we were looking for the TIB investment. John, come on up. I have 350 projects statewide. And as you can imagine, with transportation projects, some of them have trouble getting themselves done. So we like to mark the ones that do get done with these project completion plaques, which I'm going to present to the mayor if you'd come up and join us. So this says, presented to the City of Kent, Mayor Suzette Cook, in recognition of our successful partnership in completing Southeast 256th Street, March 2015, grant funding by us, the Transportation Improvement Board. Doesn't say us. And then, because of all that pressure on the 3 cents of the gas tax, I self-servingly put the local legislators on this plaque too. So I'd like to recognize the support of the 47th District State Legislator, Senator Joe Fain, Representative Mark Hargrove, and Representative Pat Sullivan, all, by the way, supporters of our program in truth. So congratulations. Maybe not a vote, yeah. Thank you.
And Steve, beforehand, I would like all of our council members to come forth. Council President Dana Ralph, Dennis Higgins, who you met, Brenda Fincher, and Council Member Les Thomas. So let's just gather around with this recognition. Come on in close. Dennis and Steve. Good. All right. What? All right, thank you very much. A project like this involves so many people over a long period of time. And I would like all of you who are under the big tent today, who had something to do with this project, to please raise your hands. And some of you were out here in all kinds of weather. Some of you made sure such things as the bicycle lanes were practical. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. And some of you were here to make certain that the neighborhood had answers to questions that they had as they put up with the muck and the big pits that had to be dug because this area did not have proper drainage from the beginning. This area also is very symbolic in the old style that it was in of where the city of Kent annexed into King County. I remember because for years I have used 256 as my commute route. And it was always so clear where the city limits ended and King County began. You would always be bumped into that reality. We talk about a celebration here for not only the commuters, but also for the safety that these sidewalks provide, that the bicycle lanes provide, that having space for all of the children to line up for the school buses. So let me specifically mention that there are 255 students, grades K through 12, that use the bus stops on 256. And there are 141 buses that run on this route between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. every day. There's 4 Metro Transit routes that this is part of their route. And there's over 1,200 apartment homes. So you can understand what Steve Gloucester mentioned as far as the activity that he witnessed in the morning. And that activity in the past, I will never get out of my memory, seeing the daycare that's just right up the road, having these little tiny tots roped together, holding hands, trying to walk off the road bed along the side of the road to get from one daycare center to the other. My heart would stop because I'd think just someone paying just a slight moment of inattention could wipe out that whole line of children the way the old road was. And probably the biggest element of all is when a city shows it cares about its infrastructure, when a city shows it's willing to go that extra step to make things not only safer but more beautiful, it instills a pride in those of us that live here and certainly for the neighborhood. And I believe that when we as a city government show pride in what we do, that pride is contagious among those who touch and view whatever it is that we have created. And with that, when we look at all the families that live here in this neighborhood, how we've given them that extra bit of pride in they calling Kent home. So I'm proud of the City Council for stepping up to the plate. I am proud of our staff in working with the community and in designing this beautiful project. So again, I know we've talked about how the Transportation Improvement Board was so key to this. Hats off to you. Thank you so much, Steve, for believing in us, helping us hang on by our fingernails until we could make it pan out financially. So with that in mind, I think, are we ready for the ribbon cutting? Are ready to get this on the job, get the job done here over on the ribbon? I want everybody, now how are we going to get everybody around the sign? We're going to cut this ribbon. I see it right over there. We have to get everybody in the picture. We got that? Staff, citizens, council members, head over to the sign. Where's Dennis?
Right here. Right here.
Come here, Dennis. You should have your hand.
Yeah.
Come here. As the chair. All right, where are you going to be?
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
You don't want your hands. You want it underneath. All right. We can only do this one time, hopefully. And this is to Kent as a quality city, bringing the people home safely.